As you take in this video, a family is suffering. Actually, a family stands in tatters, devastated, almost destroyed. The young small children with a very uncertain future. Yeah? All because of greed for money. Okay? This is a very amazing tale. Now, there are very many people who do not believe in the power of dark forces. They don't believe it exists. They believe that this is nothing but fiction. Okay? Just sit back and take in this tale. You will be totally amazed, even as you feel sad for the family. By the way, this is a Kumekucha classic. It was actually published on the blog on October 10th, 2016. That was last year. This is a more recent post, but it's very revealing, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. People have to survive, and sometimes the times are very hard. But it seems Mombasa men have found a new way to survive. Yeah? They use witchcraft to ensnare rich married women, and then they get money out of them for various things. In this particular case, the man wanted money for a printing machine, slightly over 200,000 shillings. Our tale starts in the splash Nyali estate in Mombasa, where the rich normally live. It's a well-known fact. Normally the houses are good, the apartments are just spectacular. Now this particular couple lived in this apartment, which you can actually see before your screens now. Very beautiful apartments, swimming pool, complete with a view of the ocean. A lovely, beautiful place. But disaster was about to strike. Yeah? Now one day, Mrs. X, let's just call her that, needs to sell something. So she places an ad online to sell with a popular online selling service for selling household goods and all that stuff, OLX. So soon enough she receives a number of calls, and finally it looks like she has closed the sale. Now the person who is supposed to come and collect the item is a man, and the man comes up to the house, knocks, actually doesn't knock, rings the doorbell, and this woman comes and answers the doorbell. They close the deal. The man actually leaves with the item, but while he's there he notices the woman's 3 children, because later on he denies he did not know she was married, but obviously he knew she was married. Okay, so deal closed, or so we think. It was not to be. The man starts sending texts every day, because he has the telephone number which he has used to be able to make contact to purchase the item he purchased. Okay, he sends messages. Soon this leads to a chatting session, and during the chats he does everything to seduce this woman whom he knows is married. Now, unknown to this woman, the man, whom we shall identify in a minute, was interested in money. Actually, investigations show he had actually done this quite a number of times before, and this was yet another victim in his long list of victims. Now, we shall not defend the woman, we just call her Mrs. X, we shall not defend her. But finally, women also get lonely. Her husband was a businessman and he traveled a lot out of Mombasa, and probably she got lonely, she needed company, she needed something new and exciting. So she agrees to meet him at a restaurant quite close to the house where they were staying in Nyali. Mrs. X is amazed because during the first meeting, things go overboard. The man obviously is desperately asking for sex. She reminds him that she's a married woman, that she just agreed to meet him just for a casual drink as friends. At the end of that first rather eventful encounter, the man gives her a bracelet, which she brushes aside as nothing, so she even wears the bracelet without thinking much of it. To her mind, she knows that this is the last time she's going to meet him. It was not to be. The next day she leaves her suckling child, barely a few months old, with a maid crying the whole night, and she goes and spends a night at a lodging in Bamburi with this man. Actually, the man's name is Joseph Amani. He's a graphic artist within Mombasa, with offices near Pembe Landovu, those who know Mombasa well. Now after that is when all hell broke loose. The woman started behaving in a very strange way. It is suspected, and indeed those who are experts in spiritual matters, that what was used in this case to ensnare the woman was witchcraft. The woman, who was not even known for violence, had never even fought with another woman, actually violently attacked her husband at one point. Actually, Mrs. X, when she remembers back to the events, she says actually she did not know what was happening. She cannot understand how she behaved the way she did. And everything she did after receiving that bracelet. It's like she lost her mind after receiving the said bracelet. She even found herself paying for hotel rooms for them to have sex. She could not have enough of the man. But even worse, she found herself telling the man very private things, including things about her husband, his movements, his habits, even bedroom habits of the husband. She spilled it all to Joseph Amani. In fact, Amani persistently demanded for these details. It's like he really enjoyed them. In texts which have been seen by Kumekucha, in text messages seen by Kumekucha, he demanded for them, begged for them. And reading those text messages, he could not get enough of them. Favorite positions, his weaknesses, his strengths, what he did not do, all those details were given. In fact, Mrs. X even sent a photograph of her husband to Joseph Amani. Finally, as the affair progressed, the man actually convinced Mrs. X to get pregnant with his baby, and this baby would be raised by the rich husband, who would be fooled into believing the baby was his. The motive for this really is still a mystery. Indeed, had the affair not been discovered, the woman was very ready. She was actually in an effort trying to conceive a child. Now, as all this was going on, Joseph Amani repeatedly told the woman about a printing machine he wanted to purchase, which he said cost 250,000. And he asked her in a very subtle, sly way, roundabout way, if she could help him raise finances to purchase the machine. He said he'd be able to pay it back. Now, interestingly, Joseph Amani is a married man as well. Yeah, he had a wife, and he had a child. He has a wife, he has a child, whom he was neglecting as he focused all his attention on this business venture of his to get money out of this rich woman who lived in Nyali. Now, in the next part of this series, we shall look at how the husband found out finally about this affair, and something very crazy happened. Yeah, just catch part 2 of this story in a bit. In fact, by the time it's ready, if you check the top left hand corner of your screens right now, you should be able to see a picture, a link. Click on it and you'll be able to go to the next part of this story. Thank you.